Okay, we're making sugar-free butterscotch apple cinnamon cookies. It's a very simple recipe, easy to make. So we're starting off with 2¼ cups of almond flour. If you know me, I always use almond flour in my baking most of the time. Half a cup of brown sweetener. This is brown sweetener Swerve. It's not sugar. We're going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And we're going to add 2 tablespoons of butterscotch pudding mix. So this is a Simply Delish butterscotch pudding mix. It's sugar-free. You can probably use the Jello sugar-free pudding mix if you wish, but the Simply Delish is just a much cleaner product. So I use Simply Delish for all my pudding mixes. And then we're just gonna whisk it together. So we're just gonna whisk together the dry ingredients, make sure there's no clumps, make sure everything's incorporated really well so that all the cookies have a similar taste. You're not biting into a big blob of just butterscotch or just almond flour and no other flavors. That would be pretty boring. So once we're done mixing this, we're just gonna add the wet ingredients. So you're going to have to peel and dice 1 apple. Let me center this. You're gonna peel and dice 1 apple and blend it in a blender and puree it with 1 tablespoon of unsalted melted butter and 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. Puree it really well, and then we're gonna add it to the dry mix. So the dry mix is done. I have the blended apple, cinnamon, and butter puree. We're going to add that in here. And the other wet ingredient you're gonna add is 2 large egg whites, just the egg whites here. And so we're gonna mix this together. I'm gonna use a rubber spatula. You just wanna fold that wet mixture with the dry. And then we're going to add our sugar-free white chocolate chips. I'm using a Lily's brand white chocolate chip. It's sugar-free. If you can't find it, you either have to make the choice of if you can find the white chocolate, sugar-free white chocolate instead of the chips, and then just chop up the white chocolate, the sugar-free white chocolate, and add it in here. Or don't include the white chocolate. Or if you don't mind the extra sugar, then you can add the white chocolate, the regular white chocolate, but it won't be sugar-free, and then you'll have the extra sugar in here, which may not be that great. So you just keep mixing this until there's no more dry ingredients visible. It kind of looks dry at first, but don't worry, it'll disappear once you mix it really well. That apple, butter, cinnamon is pretty wet, so it'll take care of all the dry ingredients. And then we're going to scoop these using an ice cream scoop onto parchment lined baking sheet, and make sure you preheat your oven to 350 before you start doing this. 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's make sure we get all of that dry ingredient even off the rubber spatula. Let's fold in the white chocolate chips. The batter from the spatula. And so now we're gonna take a cookie scoop and scoop them onto a parchment lined baking sheet. So I actually like to use an ice cream scoop. This is about a 2.5 tablespoon ice cream scoop. And so we're just gonna go in there, drop it on your parchment lined baking sheet. We're gonna flatten these after with a spatula knife because they usually don't flatten in the oven on their own. So what I like to do is flatten them. It will stick, but I like to do just like that. You could be a little extra and add some sugar-free white chocolate chips on the tops. And then we go in the oven and we're gonna bake it at 350 for 12 to 15 minutes. So that's it for the cookies. I let them sit on the parchment lined baking sheet after they come out to cool. They're still a little warm. I would let them cool completely. You could take them off and put them on a wire rack.